Hey guys, I'm the Metal Jesus, and today I have some YouTube advice for channels that are newer and smaller looking to grow their audience. So in this video I have 7 tips for you that I think you're going to find pretty useful. Let's take a look. To start off with, I want to mention that I did a previous video that covered a lot of the hardware aspects of making better videos. I'm talking about camera recommendations for microphones, lights, things like that. So I'm going to link to that in the upper corner here if you're interested in sort of like what cameras I use or how to make your videos look better. This is more about the lessons I've learned over the last 6 or 7 years. So tip number 1 that you need to know is that nobody is a YouTube expert, no matter what they say. And that includes me, because we are all still trying to figure this out. It is a massive landscape out there with many different types of videos and genres and also audiences that you are trying to connect with. And so if someone comes to you and says, we know how YouTube works and they offer whatever services to you, be very skeptical. Let me give you an example. The largest channel on YouTube, the most successful one of all time so far, is PewDiePie. He has over 50 million subscribers, I think, and he makes millions of dollars a year doing it. And even he, every once in a while, makes a video ranting about YouTube and how it's treating him unfairly or it's not working correctly. And he's not the only one. There's a lot of channels out there that are successful that don't know what's going on at YouTube or why it's working a certain way, and they're just as frustrated. The other thing I would tell you is that I believe that even YouTube doesn't necessarily know how it's working or the best way to do it. The reason why I say that is because there was a bit of controversy last year where people who had been subscribed to channels for years were suddenly unsubscribed. Now, subscriptions on YouTube is kind of important. You would think that YouTube would work to fix that. What they did is that they looked into the problem and they don't think there is a problem, or if there is one, they don't know what's going on. And that's just one example. In my opinion, I've worked in software for a long time. My opinion is YouTube is such a massive animal, such a big piece of software that there's probably not one person who actually oversees it all or understands how it all works or how it's all interconnected. And so just keep that in mind as you're going forward. What that means for you as a creator is that you should really, well, I'm going to give you some more advice here, but basically, look into doing different things. Look into taking chances and taking risks, because you never know what actually might succeed. Sometimes it's something that you won't expect. All right, the next tip I think is one of the most important, and that is you need to read the YouTube Creators Playbook. I've mentioned this in other videos and also talks I've done on the subject, and I'm always surprised to learn how many creators out there are trying to succeed on YouTube and haven't read the Bible. This is the Bible. This is a online document that YouTube has created themselves and brought in other successful creators to help fill out the knowledge that's in there. And in that playbook, they talk about all the things that you need to get started. For instance, it talks about scheduling your videos. It talks about how to do tagging correctly, how to write good titles, the importance of thumbnails. It also talks about the annotations and all of this stuff, the cards that you can put in the upper corner. I'm always blown away that people don't read that. And it's like, no, you can't be helped until you do read that. So I hate to keep beating a dead horse here, but read it. This next one is really important, and that is it's going to take some time, but that's okay. You should prepare for that. I'm often surprised when people jump on YouTube and think it's going to be easy. There are a lot of videos uploaded every day. I don't know what the statistics are, but it's hundreds, thousands, maybe millions, I have no idea. But there's a lot of competition out there in pretty much every single category, whether it's retro gaming, music, cooking, vlogging, whatever. There's obviously a lot of competition. And so to just assume that you're going to have some sort of magic success overnight, that is simply not going to happen. You can't count on that. I want to give you an example of one that I use in my own life. In my college years, I wanted to learn to play guitar. And initially I found it to be fairly easy. I accelerated fairly quickly. And then I realized that the people that I wanted to emulate on guitar, the Steve Vais, the John Petrucci's, the Joe Satriani's, whoever, what I realized that to get to that next level, not only in playing guitar, but also the success that they had, it just takes time. I mean, what I realized is that I was gonna have to dedicate my entire life to playing guitar, learning how to write songs, learning to be in a band, learning to play gigs, going on tour, because that's what it takes. But even more so, people might look at YouTube and go, oh, there's too many videos, I'd never succeed on there. And I don't believe that to be the case either. Again, getting back to music, if you wanted to be a guitarist in a band, well, there are lots of bands out there. How would you do that? And again, it's what I said earlier. You're gonna have to put time in. You're gonna have to learn your instrument. You're gonna have to learn how to communicate. You're gonna have to learn how to do marketing and all these sort of things. And that just simply takes time, but it also helps you hone your craft and get your voice. Usually when you upload your first 10, 15, 50 videos, they're not very good. You're learning the craft as you go. And so it's simply through repetition and time that you get better. And so regardless of what you do in life, whether you're going to try to succeed on YouTube or become a musician, in a professional band, or maybe you want to be an artist, or maybe you just want to learn how to knit, all of that takes time, and you just kind of have to get that in your mind. Okay, I'm prepared for this for the long haul. The next tip I would give you is that if you want to get to true success on YouTube, what you're really looking at is a job that is one part video production and one part social media. And often people, they may understand the video production part of it, maybe not, but they don't understand the social media aspect of it. Let me give you an example, is that, you are watching this video and I'm not sure how long it's gonna be. It's probably gonna be 15, 20 minutes long, I assume. It's probably gonna be an hour of my time, plus it's gonna be several hours of editing, depends on how much B-roll I use. And then after that, it's creating thumbnails, it's uploading to YouTube, it's tagging, it's putting descriptions in, and then it gets released. But a lot of people stop there. They think that, oh, YouTube will promote it somehow. And it's been my experience that that's not necessarily the case. You might get lucky. You might get in the suggested section over on the right-hand side if you're lucky. But what I do at that point, once my video goes live, I'm in social media marketing mode. So at that point, I'm in the comments on my video on YouTube as much as I can be, especially for the first day or so. I post it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and not only that, I'm trying to reply to people and like comments on each one of those platforms. I'll put it in forums that I think are appropriate and things like that. And then that doesn't stop. All throughout the day, if I'm not doing video production, if I'm not editing the next video, I'm usually on my phone answering emails, answering comments on Facebook, things like that. It just sort of never ends. And that's kind of your job if you want to do it at my level. And to give you an idea, I only release 2 videos a week. I can't imagine if I did more than that. I personally couldn't handle it, I don't think. I might be able to do the video production portion of it, but I couldn't do the social media. I can get anywhere from 100 to 200 up to 300 comments and emails and messages every single day. That alone can be a full-time job, just simply answering people. So, and I mention that not to complain. It's just simply just to understand what you're looking at, what you're going to be facing if you want to have true success on YouTube. That doesn't mean that you can't do this as a hobby. By all means, the great thing about YouTube is that anybody can upload a video. It doesn't necessarily have to be good. It doesn't have to be the greatest video ever made. That's the beauty of YouTube. You can shoot something with your phone, upload it, and it's great. We all watch those kind of videos, and I appreciate them just as much. But as you step up in quality of editing and all that sort of stuff, and you start branching out and pushing your stuff out with social media, it does take more time. A very important tip is to understand YouTube analytics. Specifically, watch time is king. Watch time is the most important analytics by far on YouTube, and not a lot of people understand what that is. So Most people assume that having a lot of subscribers and having a lot of views is what makes you successful, and that's simply not true. About a year and a half ago, YouTube changed its algorithm to really start promoting channels or videos that have a long watch time. And what that means is essentially what it sounds like is that someone clicked on the video and watched a percentage of it. And YouTube rewards videos that have long watch times. Why do they do that? Well, it's because YouTube wants to sell ads. And it's so much easier for them to go to some of these big ad agencies like Pepsi, Ford, whatever, and say, here is a successful video. Look at all this time that people are watching on there and they're staying on there. And so, even if your video is like, say, 8 minutes long and people watch the most of that, you know how to auto place to the next one and the next one and the next one. It's all about watch time. They're just basically chaining up all the watch time. That's what they want. They also encourage you to put things into playlists for that exact reason. They never want people to go off into any other video or click away from YouTube, simply so that it's easier to sell them ads. And don't think that that's a bad thing. YouTube needs to make some money. And so once you understand that mentality and you focus your videos to fit into that model, you will start seeing some success. I'll give you an example here is that you'll notice most of my videos have some sort of introduction. And the reason for that is simply because if someone randomly clicks on my video and they're not quite sure what it's about, that 30-second intro is so that they know what's coming up. And so hopefully that intro will get them to watch mostly to the end. So that's very important. Also, you'll notice that I put in like a little intro, that little 17 seconds, that thing. The reason why that's there is 200 to 300 people subscribe to my channel every day. And I say that because that means that those are typically new viewers to my channel, and I don't know what video they're necessarily landing on for the first time. So I include that little Metal Jesus theme in there with all that collage of other videos to give that new viewer an idea of what they can expect if they subscribe. So that way, maybe they land on some video about the Super Nintendo, and in that intro, they might see, oh, Dreamcast, or oh, big box PC gaming, or whatever. Yeah, I want to subscribe to this. This guy's got more than just this video. And so that helps with people kind of being like, okay, I'm going to settle down, I'm going to watch this video and hopefully get to the end. And that's the reason why watch time is so important. It's the reason why watch time is at the top of your analytics. Some other things in analytics that people need to look at is where views are coming from. I think a lot of people assume that they're coming from YouTube itself, but you might be surprised, and I certainly was, that my videos are being embedded in other websites. And in addition to that, 60% of my views are coming from a smartphone. That's key, because if you start planning for people who are viewing on their smartphone, you start changing the way that you do text in videos. So for instance, it's very easy for me to have text that is like really small, or maybe it comes up too quick, or maybe the font is a little bit hard to read. But once you realize that, oh, people are looking at it on like a 4.5-inch screen, that text needs to be bigger. Same thing with thumbnails. So again, looking at your analytics and understanding where your audience is currently coming from will help you steer your videos to where you want to go. Here's a subject that a lot of people ask me about, especially doing a retro gaming channel with gameplay footage, and that is, how do you deal with copyright claims and copyright strikes? Well, I'll be brutally honest with you, is that I deal with well, let's put it this way. I sweat a little bit every time I upload a video that has gameplay footage in it, no matter what it is, because while that video is processing, I assume that it's looking for matches. And last year alone, I had 6 or 7 copyright claims on my videos. And they were random. I mean, I did over 100 videos, but 6 of them, for whatever reason, got copyright claims. So it's something, if you're gonna do what I do, or really any sort of YouTube channel, you're gonna have to at least think about copyright and claims for a very good reason. And that is that if you get too many strikes on your channel, YouTube will take it away. And if you're serious about your channel, you don't want it taken away, because what's it all for then, right? So copyright is always in my mind. To give you an example, so I guess what I should say is that the way that works is that there will be a claim on your video, and then you can dispute it. The thing that sucks about this whole process, though, is that once a claim comes in, you're immediately on the defensive. So first of all, there's no ad revenue, which kind of sucks because you've worked on this video and it's your first day out and you're all really excited. You know, you want to get ad revenue and get paid for it. But that sort of stops, and then you're in defensive mode. Then you have to prove that you have the legal right to use that. Now, I will say, lately, most game companies are pretty cool with that. They claim ownership of that footage, but if you dispute that, they'll usually allow you to do that. They do that because in the United States, we have something called fair use. Now, I want to say here, I'm not a lawyer. I don't claim to understand the law, and you should not look to me for legal advice. I just know what works for me. In the United States, you can take someone's intellectual property. Let's say I took the movie Star Wars that George Lucas put out, right? 1977. And I rip that, and then I just upload it to YouTube. Well, that's not covered by fair use, because essentially you're stealing that and potentially making ad revenue, or YouTube would make it. That's not allowed. But what you are allowed to do in the United States is do transformative to that original media. So for instance, like I can do a review, so I can put very little short sections of Star Wars and then talk over about why I like Star Wars or don't like Star Wars. And that is considered sort of like a benefit to the public. That's the reason why fair use exists, because otherwise it'd be impossible to do reviews, and the public wants reviews. It's a good thing, right? But you still deal with the matching that goes on YouTube when you upload videos. So there's no silver bullet for any of that stuff. You just kind of need to be prepared. Another example I'll give you, this is so annoying. Last year, a local musician in Seattle claimed the music in one of my older videos was using his song. And I was like, first of all, as you guys know, when you listen to this, it's just drum beats that I create in Apple's GarageBand using the Apple loops, right? Apple created those loops. Everyone can use them. So he's claiming that I stole his song using those loops. And I was like, pfft. So I messaged him back. I'm like, dude, no, because it sends a link to his song. I'm like, you're just using Apple's loops. We're all using them. You can't claim that you own those. And then I don't hear back from him. He's a little testy with me. So I know how to use a computer, and so I Google his name. I land on his Facebook page, and he is posting on Facebook how he is looking forward to getting my ad revenue for this video, because the video had like 100,000 views. And he's all excited that he's going to snag all my ad revenue. And I'm just like, oh my God. But that's what it's like when someone does a copyright claim on you. You're immediately on the defensive. At that point, I was like, well, what are my options? Like, I can fight it, but do I get Apple involved? They're not going to care, or it could take months, years, who knows, right? So then what I ended up doing was going to my hard drive and looking at the creation date of my MP3, which happened to be way before his album. Sent him a screenshot, and he finally released it. But that's the type of stuff you have to deal with, and you have to be prepared to do that. Now, I will say, networks, YouTube networks, can sometimes help with this. I'm not part of a YouTube network, but I see that as one of the benefits that they sort of have. I don't know, I honestly don't know, but I think they have lawyers or systems in place to quickly deal with that sort of stuff. So if it's something that you're really concerned about, you might consider it. I should also shout out that Screenwave at one point, I had a copyright claim, and they cleaned it up for me. Basically, Wood contacted them to resolve the dispute. So that was very cool of them. They didn't have to do that. They did it as a courtesy. So, but anyways, just keep that in mind that, copyrights are a pain. All right, and then finally, my last tip seems like an obvious one, but it's a tricky one though. And that is to make videos that people actually want to watch. Now, that is a harsh lesson for me, because I release 2 videos a week, so it's over 100 videos a year. And while some of my videos are very successful, there are many that are not. And I'm often disappointed when, like, say, I'll do a video on my vinyl record collection, or even like my big box PC games. Those videos won't get as many views as something like, say, the Nintendo 64 or whatever, you know. And that's just something that you need to be prepared for, is that you do need to kind of focus or think about what people actually want to watch. And that can be a very harsh thing to think about. It can be tough because there are times when I want to do a video that maybe I would like to do, but it just wouldn't be right for my YouTube channel here. The other thing too, also, it's pretty eye-opening to go onto the trending section of YouTube and just take a look at the videos that are trending in the gaming or whatever genre that you're interested in. You'll see that there's a lot of Minecraft videos and a lot of videos of people yelling. You'll see vlogging videos, live streaming videos. And for a long time, I didn't understand what was the appeal, right? That didn't seem like it was appealing to me necessarily, you know, but why are they so overwhelmingly popular? I'll tell you that I learned a valuable lesson. I went down and hung out with John Hancock, and John has 2 young kids, and in his living room, I'll never forget this, he's got this big screen television, you know. It's got some Nickelodeon show on TV. And then on the other side of his living room, he has a computer with a normal size 19-inch, 20-inch monitor, you know. The kids were completely ignoring Nickelodeon, and they were fascinated by this vlogging YouTube channel. And you know, and I was asking him, like, what's so appealing to that? And he's, you know, he had this sort of like analysis that he had learned over the months and years of his kids watching vlogging and Minecraft, is that they know those characters, they know those people on those channels. They tune in every single day and they watch for hours and hours and hours. And I was like, man, like, that's impressive. I mean, hey, more power to those channels, man. Like, you know, I hope you're socking away the money, because who knows how long that will last, but it's succeeding on a big way. And those kids, man, it's like they didn't care about corporate television at all. They were all on YouTube. It was pretty impressive. So it just, you know, again, I'm not going to do a Minecraft video or anything like that, but actually it sort of freed me up. It was like, okay, well, great. I'm not even going to try to compete with that. You know what I mean? They're way over there. Great. I'm over here. This is my passion. These are the types of videos that I love to do. The other thing too, again, getting back to analytics, will tell you a ton about your audience. For instance, for my audience, it's mostly male, and it's mostly people from 25 to 35, maybe 40 years old, which again is really valuable to know. It's like, okay, yeah, that's me. You know what I mean? So what that told me in the analytics was, if I like the video, or if it's a video that I want to watch, then other people, my subscribers, will probably also like it too. So, and you know, so far that has actually worked out pretty well. So it's something to think about. And speaking of which, I hope a lot of this was just stuff to think about. This is completely off the cuff. I just basically wanted to share some advice. A lot of people will ask me for advice, and there's a ton to know about YouTube. So again, getting back to the playbook, read the playbook, and then post down in the comments below if you have other questions, because do you see that bug? What I love about it is that on my YouTube channel, I'm not the only big YouTube channel here. Barnacles is also in the comments, and he has like 800,000 subscribers in a completely different channel. A bunch of people are in the comments usually, and so they can offer some insight if you're looking to go a little bit deeper. So hope you guys found this useful. I want to thank you guys for watching my channel. Thank you for subscribing, and take care. I hope you guys like this video. I know I was rambling a bit here and there, but I kind of wanted to speak off the cuff and from my heart and sort of tell you guys, you know, what I've learned doing YouTube, this crazy YouTube world that I have found myself in. And I love doing it, but it is a bit of a challenge. And I know a lot of people have a ton of questions about it. And so hopefully this video will help, if not clear up things, but at least start some conversations.